Dolphins are mammals. They feed their babies with milk. They live in the sea, but they can't breathe underwater. So, they have to come up for every 15 minutes. Dolphins can live in either fresh or salt water. They gather in social groups, and they often hunt together. These groups consist of 5 dolphins up to several hundred. Dolphins are considered to be the world's most intelligent animals. They have bigger brains than humans. Dolphins are very sociable and have their own ways to communicate with each other using special sounds. They also use these sounds to call each other when they are in trouble. Dolphins are playful and friendly to humans. They like to jump and do acrobatic movements in the air. Dolphins are different in colors. They are generally gray, but their backs are darker.
Luciano Pavarotti was from Italy. He was a very famous opera singer of the 20th century. At first, Luciano wanted to be a football player and a singer. As a young boy, he listened to famous singers on the radio and attended the city's chorus. He later said that this was the most important experience in his life and inspired him to be a professional singer. But when he grew up, he worked as a teacher. He had singing lessons when he wasn't at school. Painting was one of Pavarotti's favorite hobbies. He exhibited a collection of his own works in New York. He had great successes in painting and opera. In 1963, he sang in London Opera House because another actor was ill. Soon he became popular and began to give television performances. He started his own singing competitions in Philadelphia. He sang before the Football World Cup in Italy. Millions of people watched his concerts on TV and then bought his CDs. People still listen to his CDs and love his beautiful singing. The London Eye, the tallest observation wheel in Europe, was opened on December 31, 1999. Since then, it has been a great tourist attraction and more than 3 million people visit it every year. This landmark is situated on the south bank of the River Thames, in the very heart of London. It gives the passengers the opportunity to get a fascinating view over London. They can see many famous landmarks like Buckingham Palace, St. Paul's Cathedral, and the Houses of Parliament. The London Eye was designed by 2 architects, David Marks and Julie Barfield, husband and wife. They took part in a competition for the best landmark project and suggested the idea of a large observation wheel. This observation wheel is perfect for families with children. The slow motion allows passengers to walk in and out of the wheel at ground level. Even elderly tourists find the wheel comfortable. Every coming New Year is marked by a 10-minute fireworks show at the London Eye. The growing popularity of the London Eye makes tourists wait for a long time to get tickets. It may seem unimportant, but research results suggest that sounds can influence learning ability and imagination. Some schools are now introducing noises, music, and even smell into the classroom. The aim is to see which of these factors can improve students' grades. It's obvious that sounds of traffic, airports, and police sirens are a part of a busy city. It was found out that children from schools which are near big airports showed less success at exams However, when students do tasks in groups or discuss something, it's impossible to avoid noise. Sometimes, the noise disturbs other students. On the other hand, some noises stimulate imagination, but the sound should be neither too high nor too low. It was observed that the most original projects were created when songs were played at a normal level. Low and high levels, on the other hand, damaged creativity. Listening to classical or calm music has always helped people to improve their learning ability. More and more people in Britain want to live in the country, and this is causing some problems in rural areas. The population of British cities has been falling for years. Cities like Liverpool and Glasgow have lost about 30% of their population in 30 years. But Britain's population is still growing. People imagine that life in the country is slow and calm, that there are no traffic jams, no pollution. So lots of people want to live in the country and work in the city. They travel long distances using cars each day to go to work. Of course, they don't use buses or trains. And although people live in the country, they want to use supermarkets and fast roads, but don't want to live near them. Traffic jams are now often part of life, even in the country. People leave cities and towns to escape from urban problems, but they are bringing their problems with them. Honey badgers are small but strong animals. They are associated with honey, although they don't eat it. They prefer bee eggs and will do anything to find them. Beekeepers often set special traps for honey badgers to protect bee houses. The honey badger works with a bird. This bird is called the greater honey guide. It guides the badger to bee houses, then waits while the badger breaks into it and takes the bee egg. Then the badger and the bird share the food. Honey badgers have sharp teeth, powerful jaws. It allows them to attack and kill much bigger animals. They can eat tortoises, lizards, snakes, small crocodiles without difficulty. Their skin is tough, so bees and animals hardly damage their skin. They are listed as the world's most fearless animals in the Guinness Book of World Records. Honey badgers can easily climb tall trees to steal eggs from birds' nests. They can adapt to a variety of conditions, from warm rainforests to cool mountains. Bats are the only mammals capable to fly. Their wings are actually hands that have adapted for flight. They are very flexible and can move independently. This makes bats better at flying than birds. They can be found almost everywhere in the world, except the polar regions and deserts. Bats don't make nests, but various places and caves are the right environment for bats to colonize. At night, bats go out in various directions, then come back to their colony. Bats can hang upside down. They are hanging by their feet when they are sleeping or resting. It helps them to take off before flight and hide from wild animals. Bats are not blind, but at night, their ears are more important than their eyes. While flying, small bats make shouting sounds. The returning echoes give the bats information about anything that is ahead of them, including the size and shape of an insect and which way it is going. This system of finding food is called echolocation. Bats help plants by spreading their seeds and eating insects on them. While people fly across several time zones, they experience jet lag. Jet lag is the feeling of being sometimes confused when people travel quickly on a plane across the parts of the world where the time is different. They arrive in a new zone, but their bodies are still living in the time of the old zone. All living beings suffer from jet lag because they all have a biological clock that tells them when to sleep or eat. Some French scientists did an experiment with honeybees. They put out sugar water every morning at 10 and at noon, and the bees came to drink the water at exactly the right time. Then scientists took the honeybees to New York. The bees came for the food at the time their bodies told them, only it was 3 p.m. New York time. Their bodies were still on Paris time. Not to suffer from jet lag, people should get plenty of sleep before flight. It may be useful for them. In astronomy, satellites are bodies that travel around the planet. The Moon is a satellite because it is in the orbit of the Earth. In addition to natural satellites, there are many human-made satellites. One of them is Earth Observation Satellite. There are several types of them. They vary according to the type of orbit they have. Earth observation satellites help us to observe and save our environment, manage our resources. These satellites are also used to observe rainforests and natural resources. These satellites are important because they can help to control the spread of diseases in crops and forests. They can also find out fires and floods before they become too big. By observing the Earth from space, Earth observation satellites can provide essential information on ocean, ice, land environment, and the atmosphere. There are many people who are left-handed. There would be even more left-handed in the world if many people weren't forced to use their right hand. To understand left-handedness, it's necessary to look at the brain. The brain is divided into two hemispheres. If you are left-handed, right hemisphere of your brain is usually dominant, and that is where creativity and intuition are centered. The left hemisphere is the center of language and logical thinking. This is where they solve their math problems and memorize vocabulary. The right hemisphere answers the 5 senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. The left hemisphere of the brain controls the right side of the body, and the right hemisphere controls the left side. Both sides of the body receive the same information from the brain because they are connected. Left-handers are more likely to have good imagination. But sometimes, left-handedness can cause problems for people. Some left-handed children see letters and words backwards. They read D for B and was for so. Studies show that left-handers have a real advantage in interactive sports such as boxing, tennis, and baseball. A parrot became a hero when it helped to save the life of a lovely 2-year-old girl, Hannah. The parrot's owner, Megan, was looking after Hannah. It was morning, and the child was eating her breakfast alone because Megan had gone to the bathroom. While Megan was in the bathroom, the parrot Willie started to make a very strange noise. Megan realized that something bad had happened. Willie started screaming the words, "Mama, baby," again and again. The parrot never screamed like that before. Megan ran out of the bathroom and saw that Hannah's face had gone blue. She couldn't breathe because she had food in her throat. Fortunately, Megan knew what to do in this situation and immediately helped Hannah. The child started to breathe normally. When the parrot saw that Hannah was okay, it stopped screaming. Willie was named Animal Hero of the Year and given a prize for his actions. One day, Walt Disney took his daughters to an amusement park. In the amusement park, they went on the rides, played games, and saw animals. But the park was dirty and boring. While watching his daughters ride the merry-go-round, an idea came to him of a place where adults and their children could go and have fun together. His most popular cartoon was Mickey Mouse, and he wanted Mickey and other characters to walk around the park and talk to the guests. Disney's dream about this special and exciting park took many years to come true. People did not understand his ideas, and that's why nobody wanted to give him money. So, Disney used all his own money to build the park. On July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened in Anaheim, California. It was an immediate success. The first year, about 5 million people went to Disneyland. People came from all over the United States and all over the world. People use metal detectors to find metal. Metal detectors make magnetic waves. These waves go through the ground. The waves change when they hit metal. When the detector beeps, it helps people to know that metal is close. The first metal detectors helped the miners. But those metal detectors were big and cost a lot of money. They used a lot of power and didn't work well, but they were safe. Now they are light and cheap. They also work better. These metal detectors are also used to find bombs left in the ground during wars. It is unsafe for people to live in such places. There are special people who find bombs with the help of these metal detectors. Metal detectors are also used to protect people in airports, courthouses, and to help security guards to look for weapons. So they make the world a safer place. High level of cholesterol in blood is a main risk factor for heart diseases. Heart diseases are one of the main causes of death in developed countries. People with heart diseases suffer from chest pains. These chest pains make simple activities such as walking or taking a shower difficult. Heart diseases can begin in children at the age of 3. It occurs earlier in boys than in girls. Heart diseases develop faster if your cholesterol level is high and you also smoke. But your body needs some cholesterol to make hormones, vitamin D, that help you digest foods. To lower your cholesterol, you must change your eating habits. For example, children should be served fruit in school cafeterias. They should avoid eating unhealthy food outdoors. You can prevent heart diseases by living a healthful lifestyle and being on the right kind of diet.